All right, guys, so today we're graphing in Vertex form. Vertex form is actually going to be super similar. I kind of did a super mini lesson when we did graphing absolute values. No, graphing piecewise. And then I'm going to go over it again today. So y equals, we're not going to do really anything with that column. We might use it for extra notes. So A is always going to tell us the stretch. It's going to say how far is it stretched from the vertex. Okay, so I like to think of A as my slope for 1, meaning I go up A or down A, depending on if it's up or down, and then I go over 1. It's my slope for 1 in both directions. So, for example, if it's 1/4, that means I'd go up 1/4 and then over 1. And that would be my next point for my vertex. So my vertex up 1/4 over 1. If A was 1/4, that's how to graph it. And then I do the same thing the other direction. Okay? So it ends up with this cute little thing. A also determines what's my orientation. So if A is greater than, if it's greater than 0, then it's going to be, and with that, if the absolute value of A is less than 1, this is going to be a shrink. In other words, it's going to be wider. It's going to be like a really wide smiley face. If the absolute value of A is greater than 1, it's going to be a stretch. Like a rubber band stretches, it's going to be nice and skinny. Like this. Okay, and then if A is greater than 0 or if A is positive, it'll be a smiley face because it's positive. And if A is less than 0, it'll be a frowny face because it's negative. Okay, any questions there? Cool. All right, so over here, it's going to give us information about the vertex or where things have moved. Just like we did with the absolute value graphs, the H is going to move in the same way, the K is going to move in the same way. So H, if H is positive, the graph shifts left. If H is negative, the graph shifts right. Okay? So that means that whatever H is, you're going to take the opposite sign and put it there for your vertex. Okay? And then K, if K is positive, you move up. And then if K is negative, the graph shifts down. So then it's going to be negative H, comma, K, whatever the K is. That's going to be your vertex. All right, so right here, here's an example. So my A is 2, which means I'm going to get that stretch of 2, and it's going to be a smiley face. So we got a cute little smiley face. That's going to be a little skinnier than normal. Okay, H is going to be this negative 4, and then my K is going to be negative 3. So my vertex is 4, negative 3, because remember I take the opposite of H. Then the graph opens up. So let's go ahead and graph this. So I'm going to go to positive 4, negative 3, and then I'm going to do a stretch of 2. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1 in both directions. And so this, oh, that's a very bad, something like that, sure. That would be my graph. Okay, and I could plug in 0 and figure out where that is. So if I plug in 0, that would be 16 times 2 is 32 minus 3. That's not going to be pretty, so we're going to leave that alone. Because it's going to be really big. All right. So Now it's your turn. So go ahead and see if you can figure out how to graph it. And in this one, please note that you're identifying the x-intercepts. Okay? And then on this one, you're going to identify the y-intercept after you graph it. On this one, you're identifying the vertex. And then on this one, you're identifying the x-intercepts again. Y-intercept. And the x-intercepts. Okay? All right. Go ahead and get started on that.